What up, people? So raise your hands if you're already missing all the drama that involved the oldest of the famous sisters, Kourtney Kardashian, now that she's no longer a part of the reality show. And what if I told you that you're going to miss those epic pitch battles forever, because it seems that Kourtney is now happier than ever to have been freed from the pressure of always being in the eye of the hurricane because of her participation in the show. And to be quite honest with you, we understand her perfectly. So you better subscribe to the channel, activate the notifications, and stay with us, because I'm telling you why Kourtney Kardashian now feels fuller and freer than ever before. The 18th season of the most famous reality show on the planet was beginning, and with it also began the scandals, the fights, and the dramas, and all at the same time. But on that occasion, it seemed that everything was elevated to the fifth element. What started out as a normal sister chat turned into a kind of a pointing war between Kim and Kendall. So what does that have to do with Kourtney? Well, calm down guys, cause that's what I'm getting at. When Kim tried to explain what she really meant, it made matters worse, and that's when Kourtney decided to intervene. Look, I'm not gonna go into too much detail because I'm sure the fans of the show remember perfectly how it all happened. The point is that as the discussion progressed, things were getting even hotter, and Kourtney's temper was also getting higher and higher. Kim's giggle grew and Kourtney's patience diminished, so she warned Mrs. West that she had better shut up if she didn't want to get shredded right then and there. And well, on that warning, there's no deception, and everyone witnessed what came next. Some pushes, some scratching, some struggling slaps, and even some ninja kicks. So in short, a real battle on the field. But then, real fans will surely know that the rivalry between Kim and Kourtney did not start yesterday. Am I right? I mean, in fact, shortly after the fight occurred, Kourtney herself admitted that she had been in a constant battle with her younger sister Kim, but that for the past 3 years or so, Khloe had joined in to give Kim's team more strength. Wait, I'm just telling you what Kourtney said, but do you think it's really Kim and Khloe against poor Kourtney? Well, since we mentioned it, it seems that not only did Khloe take Kim's side, but also many of the reality fans started writing to Kourtney that they were tired of that kind of attitude at the time of the filming, and that the best thing to do was abandon the show once and for all. And yes, it was after that Kourtney pleased them, because she quickly responded that she no longer wanted to be part of the reality show that made her and her little sisters famous. But oh well, we were not so surprised, because not long ago Kourtney had expressed that she wanted to take some time off from the media. But at the time she said it was only temporary, that she just wanted to take a break and give her children a normal life. And speaking of them, right at this point is where I will repeat what I already told you at the beginning, that we understand that for a long time she was no longer happy with the show, and since it was only conflicts with her sisters, but also to the criticism that she had to endure due to, according to a lot of fans, the terrible upbringing that she was giving to her children. And not to mention all the media attention about her relationship with her ex today, Scott Disick, with whom she had many back and forths, and to finally break up. And no, we can't talk about her children without first talking about Scott and Kourtney's love-hate story. The now former couple share 3 children: Mason Dash, who came into this role in 2010, Penelope, who was born 2 years later in 2012, and finally Little Rain, who was born in 2014. And by the way, the one that is most responsible for the criticism towards his mother. Many of them suggest that, perhaps unconsciously, Kourtney is trying to prevent her children from feeling responsible for the split of her parents, and that's why she pampers them so much. Do you believe that? Scott and Kourtney ended their relationship shortly after the birth of Rain, but they still share the responsibility of raising their 3 children. But perhaps that's too much to say, because according to what we witnessed during the show, much of the enormous and always difficult responsibility falls on the big sister of the family. But the whole wave of criticism started when the audience began to realize that discipline and corrections are not, let's say, Mrs. Kourtney's strong point. And there are several occasions when the fans have witnessed that their 3 children ignoring her directions and even hitting their own mother. In fact, during one episode of the show, there was a heated discussion in which Corey Gamble, Kris's current partner, felt that Kourtney and Scott should exercise a much stronger hand in disciplining their children. And in his opinion, sometimes it takes a good spanking to correct a child's bad behavior. That was after Kourtney told those present at the table that her little princess seemed to be having trouble controlling her impulses. So much so that she had to run out of babysitters after little Penelope left her fingernails marked to one of her nannies while she was trying to get her into the car. So for Kourtney, that behavior was due to a disconnect in her brain that caused Penelope to react violently. But contrary to Corey's opinion, physical punishment as a corrective measure is not an option for either Kourtney or Scott. So, however, when fans expressed their opinions on the networks, many of them did say that they shared the viewpoint of Kris's partner, to which Kourtney herself responded as follows. "So you think physical harm is the only action? That's sad. Of course, there are many consequences which I dealt with, and I'm very proud of my kids, and being a parent isn't always easy, but we do have consequences that don't always involve physical harm." But for Kris, the issue was much more serious, and according to her, in all of her life as a mother, she never had any complaints of that kind and of the nannies in her house. Although, well, it seems that long-term memory is not Kris's greatest strength or greatest side, because as many of you surely know from the other videos from our channel, when she was a little girl, Kourtney herself treated some of her caregivers with, you know. So considering all the history of pitched battles between sisters, media pressure after the split, and constant criticism of the upbringing of her children, among many other things, it's not all that surprising that Kourtney was already fed up with the famous show and decided to leave it forever, or at least it seems that way. And while that was bad news for most of the fans of the eldest in the family, Kourtney couldn't have liked it better. It turns out that just a few days ago, Vogue Arabia magazine was published, and in its July and August issue, and yes, you guessed it, Kourtney was on the cover. And it was right after the photo shoot that she spoke openly about her decision to abandon or at least limit her family reality appearances. And among other things, Kourtney said the following: "I have been filming the show non-stop for 13 years, 19 seasons and 6 spin-off seasons. I was feeling unfulfilled, and it became a toxic environment for me to continue to have it to occupy as much of my life as it was." But as we said before, for some time now, during the 18th season to be exact, Kourtney had announced that she would step away from the cameras, and at that time she had said that "I have decided to take a big step back from filming and really just pick and choose what I will allow cameras to follow. I think that just now when I have something that I find is interesting to film or that I would feel excited to film, that I do that." And although, according to Vogue Arabia, Kourtney feels grateful for all the time that she spent on the show, she also feels liberated and empowered about her decision. In fact, the magazine cover shows Kourtney with her eyes closed and with the following legend written in her own handwriting: "The power of reclaiming yourself. Kourtney Kardashian sets free." Alright guys, you know what? You better tell us what you think in the comments, cause what do you think of Kourtney's decision to walk away from the show? I mean, do you think it's final now, or do you think it's just another one of those advertising strategies that's so common in this family? So again, please, if you like this video, don't forget to leave me your likes and share it with your contacts, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and to check out all of our content. See you guys next time.